45-year-old Folake Ekundayo was not born with any deformity. 16 years ago, she was certain about visiting a sick relative at the hospital, but fate had a different plan for her.
You know, the Okada man picked two of us at that spot, precisely at Agege Event Cinema, and before we moved a very short distance, there was a crash with a vehicle with another car. The other passenger still escaped through, so God helped the other part, but the Okada rider died.
Many residents like Folake have had dreams cut short and may not be able to regain all that have been lost during or after the course of treatment for the accidents. A visit to the Trauma Center in Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Lasuth, and the Lagos State Accident Emergency Service Center will always give a clue about the frequency of road accidents on Lagos roads.
The first stage of the treatment, when it newly happened, I got up then. I was walking, moving around and whatever. But later, you know, when it relapses, then I have to, it has been my husband. I have to tell you the truth, he has been doing a lot of the work, carrying me around. Anywhere I have to go, I was at work on Friday, he has to abandon his own work, carry me down and all those, because I've tried to do it on my own. It's not easy.
According to the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, in 2019, the Trauma and Accident Unit recorded casualties of more than 1,200. About 500 accidents recorded were motorcycle-related, while 28 motorcycle deaths occurred, the highest so far since 2015.
2012, when we had the legislation against riding of motorcycle on the highway, and they were restricted to the inner roads, there was a significant decrease in the number of accident victims in general that were brought to the emergency room. In fact, at a point in time, shortly after the legislation, we have several free beds in emergency rooms, and these were published in peer-reviewed journals, specifically highlighting the effectiveness of that particular legislation as of that time. But unfortunately, some few years down the line, we saw the re-emergence of motorcycles, tricycles, and the rest on the highway. The legislation was sort of like relaxed, and of course, people took advantage of that, and then we have them back on the highway. And what has happened with that? There has been a gradual increase and an upsurge in the number of victims that were brought into high emergency rooms with Okada accidents, as we call it. If I will give you some statistics, motorcycle, the so-called Okada, has seen a gradual increase in the number of victims that were brought to the emergency room between 2015 and 2019. Around 2015, we had about 252 victims brought in, constituting about 172 males and 72 females. Of course, we have more males affected when we have these accidents. And that has increased over the years. And as of 2019, it has increased to 349 males and 123 females. That is telling you that between 2015 and 2019, we have had about threefold increase in the number of accident victims. That it should not be unexpected with the relaxation of that legislation that forbids Okada on the highway and also restricted them to the inner roads.
In an economy like Lagos with a population of 21 million, government has continuously ensured intramodal form of transportation and utilized different mode of conveyance, bus services, ferry services, alongside good road networks and traffic managers for seamless transportation. But humanly, recklessness and lawlessness come to play. Due to the rush to catch up with time, residents resort to the use of other means of transportation, chief of which are motorcycles popularly known as Okada and tricycles, fondly referred to as Keke Maruwa. These two are popular for their swiftness and the ability to maneuver congestions. Many city dwellers really do not care about the risk involved. They believe that after all, they help them beat time.
It's risky, especially on the major road. Very risky.
We are assuming I was with an helmet that day, it wouldn't have, even I don't think the head injury would have occurred at all. Then, like maybe not carrying two passengers, like you said, because I was at the middle. The other person flew off immediately ahead, you understand? So I thought if there is a law that is saying, okay, the Okada riders, you take only one passenger, it would also help.
Beyond that, when these victims are brought in, many times they have very severe injuries, fractures, head injuries, chest injuries, and abdominal injuries. Some of them, unfortunately, will also come in dead, or they will die shortly after being brought in, depending on the severity of the injury. But if I will lead you into something, a research that was done in this hospital around 2012, 2013, when this legislation was enforced, showed that even at that, mortality was high between motorcycle accidents, and it was even dangerous for you to be a pedestrian than to be a rider. So many times the motorcycles also involved pedestrians in the accident, and severity increases when pedestrians were involved, and the chances that a victim will die is more with the pedestrian.
The riders hardly have a mastery of the machines, nor do they demonstrate an understanding of basic traffic rules in the state. Their recklessness is near legendary.
Security will improve, it will reduce, because there are lots of crime committed through these bike riders or those kind of sorts. So if they should restrict them from various different areas, it will reduce crime committed.
With the renewed efforts of the Lagos State government to enforce the state traffic law, many residents like Folake will definitely be spared of avoidable accidents.